How about Those Were the Days?
That one actually, Static actually, he like on that song, we actually thought he was going to use that for something else. And when he first started writing the song, we thought it was going to be a Playa record.
Oh, wow.
But he ended up actually like changing it up. I was like, no, I think I'm gonna write that for Aaliyah. So he already came up with the concept and everything. But then he had the melody. He started putting the lyrics together. He was like, oh, I think I'm gonna do that for her. And she actually had came to the studio one of the days that we were working on that, and he kind of sang her the melody, and she liked it. So he was like, okay, I'll go ahead and just make that a song for her. So and that's how that one came about.
Oh, okay, cool. And then there's also You Got Nerve.
Okay, that's a song. Black wrote that song. That was that track. Like it was kind of like a theme at that time, because like we had the loose rap song and Those Were the Days, and it was all those. It was like a lot of songs, and that was kind of a theme. And it's almost crazy because they're like guys and they write songs from a female perspective, but they're kind of like right on it. And then she would always kind of just insight, just like things she wanted to talk about. So on that one, when we were in the studio with Black on that one, it just kind of came. That one came about. He was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep the theme, and he was like, like can you imagine a girl just saying like, you got your nerve to do that, to do something like that. So pretty much that's how. Like I said, a lot of things we just sit around and talk about it, and then they had kind of already like zeroed in on the tracks that they liked. So they were just like, okay, these are the ones we're going to use, and that was one of the ones. So that's one of the ones that Black did. So like that was one of, it was 2 songs that we did that Black wrote, and that was one of them right there.
And I'm sure the other one that Black did was Messed Up, or that ended up being the bonus track on the album.
Right. Now that track is crazy because it wasn't gonna make the record.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It wasn't going on the album, but basically, so at that time it's crazy. Working on that album, a lot of people were trying because because of the time frame was so long. Like a lot of people were like, well, what song is she gonna use? Because people hadn't heard the song, so they were like, well, what song is she gonna use? And well, whatever song she's not gonna use, are they gonna be available? Like, are they gonna be available? So we were like, well, everything is kind of on hold right now. Like she gets first pick on whatever she wants. So that was kind of the way we had worked it. And when we had sat down with her, she was like, okay, I know you guys work, for Destiny Child and brought it in 50. She said, but all I asked is that while you're doing my album, she was like, before we go elsewhere and out and work on other things, she was like, I would like you guys to just kind of exclusively work on my project right now. Because she wanted to make sure that it was like a classic record. So, Messed Up, that song wasn't going to make the record. And when after different various people in the industry had, now heard the songs because, the album was pretty much done, that one wasn't on the list of songs, so a lot of people started inquiring about that.
Wow.
So she basically was like, and this is like some, behind the scenes information, she was like, well, nah, I know that's a good song, it's just not going to make my album. She said, but actually it is. I'm going to use it as a bonus track. And she was like, no, I don't want anybody else to have that song, because she liked the song, but that was the one when they had to, narrow it down to the number of songs. That was the last one that didn't make it. So they just, ended up deciding to go with it on the bonus track.
Yeah.
Because she was like, nah, I'm still going to use that record because I don't really want to give it away. I don't really want anybody else to use that because I actually like that record. So that's how it ended up being on the bonus track, because that was a song that quite a few labels had, called us and called Playa, mainly Black, because he had wrote that, and called the office, the Black office and everything, inquiring about that record. So she said, well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one instead of letting it go out on the market.
That's interesting. Another one actually that didn't make this album. It ended up on her the album that came out after she passed away, the "I Care for You" album, and that was the Erica Kane song. What was the origin of that song? Because I knew it was going to be a Playa song. That's what I had heard. But do you know the origin of that one?
Yeah, well, I mean, it actually was a Playa song.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Static wrote that for Playa.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote it for. And, but she liked it. When she heard the song, she liked it. So she recorded. She was like, I want to record it. She said, even if I don't use it, I want to record it. She's like, we may use it for something, but I definitely want to record it.
Yeah.
So that's the reason because we had, there's a Playa version of that song and there's an Aaliyah version of that song.
Mm-hmm.
But she liked that song for what it talked about, how basically you can be addicted to a drug, in that manner. So she was like moved by that song to the point where she had said, well, even if I don't use it, I still want to record it. So basically, after she passed, that was the only fully recorded song that Keybeats had that she had done. So that's why they were like, oh, we definitely have to use that. Because we actually had some other records that she had maybe laid the hook on or kind of started laying, but she never really fully laid the whole song. But Erica Kane was a song that she had already fully laid. So since we actually had a full version of her doing it, that's why, because that song didn't even get mixed until it was time for that album. Because they had never really fully mixed it because, it wasn't really thought of to be her song. But, since we had that version, they were like, oh, it would only be right for us to release that on the I Care For You album.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Were there any other songs maybe that you worked on for her that never ended up getting released? Maybe they're, just still in the archives or whatever?
Well, like I said, she had, we worked in the studio with her a lot. Mm-hmm. So, Static and the label so many songs to where it was a lot of songs that we did, and even in Australia, because in Australia, like, our songs, Keybeats, we were pretty much, all of our songs were done. Mm-hmm. So when we were over there, we were just kind of working on new things, trying to see if maybe we would come up with something new. But she touched up some of the vocals pretty much on our songs. That's pretty much all she did, because all of our songs, we had recorded them for the most part in New York.
Yeah. Before
we even left for Australia, so we had already recorded them. So, but there were like a few songs that she had. There was a song called "Dancing" that Black had wrote, and that one was just one that she had only laid the hook on. Mm-hmm. And she probably had about 6 other records that she had at least laid some vocals to. Mm-hmm. But like it were songs like "We'll Come Back to That," but we just kind of never got around to it because the album and the recording on the album started moving at such a pace, and it caught fire. So we kind of just ended up going with what we knew for sure was going to be something that she was going to use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how come a lot of those other songs, they never really even got fully recorded. And some she might have just laid a verse, or she might have just laid a hook, or something like that. So they're archived somewhere. Like where exactly they are, I'm sure Blackground has all of that stuff. Yeah. But like since it was like it wasn't really enough to release. Now I know the idea was thought for a while to maybe take some of the songs that she had a hook on, mm-hmm. and maybe have her just feature on a hook, like maybe if somebody rapped over it or something like that. So like we played with that idea for a little while around the time of working on the album after she passed, but it just it just never panned out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.